This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi.
I'm just going to start this with, if you're going to cheat, then just end the relationship. Just don't.
Exactly.
Don't do it, number one, if you're in a relationship, because that will never lead to anything good for your partner or anyone else, including yourself. I mean, just the headache and heartache and horrible situation you put your family and yourself and your partner into that you supposedly care about. And even more so, if you do, get the fuck out of the relationship.
Exactly.
Be an adult, and if you have children there, you need to care for them and be a father. People are able to admit their faults and move on in a way that still cares for the children and is responsible. Murdering the mom of your family and murdering your wife and her brother, not usually a productive way of solving anything when it comes to you having a child out of wedlock with someone else that she doesn't know about. And the fact that she is a law enforcement officer and her brother is there as you try to hide this cover-up, not going to really solve anything at all. But alas, out of Georgia, 30-year-old man, Jaquavia Jackson, convicted on multiple charges, including malice murder and felony murder in the ambush and killing of his law enforcement wife, Shakeema Brown Jackson, and her brother, Levoy Brown Jackson, a 30-year-old man from Georgia, found guilty on multiple charges, including 2 counts each of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during a felony. The Newton County District Attorney's Office announced the conviction in a press release on Friday. The incident occurred on October 21st of 2021 when Jaquavia Jackson carried out a meticulously planned ambush on his wife, Shakeema Brown Jackson, who had recently been promoted to Fulton County Sheriff's Deputy. Shakeema, who's 28, was found shot multiple times while lying on her couch and scrolling through Facebook in their home. Jaquavia Jackson also killed Shakeema's brother, Levoy Brown, 30, who just happened to be present at the time of the attack. The assailant attempted to mislead the authorities by claiming that 2 unknown intruders had committed the murders. He even fired a shot outside the house to support his false story. However, investigators quickly uncovered the truth behind the gruesome murders. It was revealed that both Shakeema and Jaquavia were scheduled to attend court the day after the killings, as Jaquavia was facing lawsuits from 2 different women for fathering their children. Gee, not suspicious at all. The day before you're supposed to go to court, you kill the person you're with because, well, I mean, she must know. Unless she didn't know the court docket. I mean, which could very well easily be true that she had no idea.
Because maybe she knew, and maybe one of these paternity tests were to see if he was the father of her kid. It just makes no sense why someone has to die over that.
It seems like things were catching up to this person, and they had zero coping skills, which I think is a huge problem in our country. Is when you have zero coping skills, you resort to horrible things like this because you can't cope, you can't think clearly, and you just go to basically black and white thinking of it's either this way or that way, dead or alive. And when you can't cope, that's where this goes. Furthermore, it was discovered that Jaquavia had been involved in deceptive actions, attempting to provide false DNA samples to evade responsibility in the paternity disputes. During the trial, jurors also learned that Jaquavia had inquired about his neighbor's security camera on the morning of the murders, trying to ensure that there was no evidence of his actions. By the way, turn that way. That doesn't work, right? Can you turn it, get it offline? Unfortunately for him, another neighbor had working cameras that disproved his claim of unknown intruders. Text messages and call logs between Jaquavia and Shakeema further contradicted his false narrative, leaving no doubt about his guilt and the horrific crime. The cover-up fell apart as the evidence mounted against him, revealing the man driven by deceit, lies, and desperate attempts to hide his infidelity from his law enforcement wife. Newton County District Attorney Randy McGinley expressed his condolences to the victim's family, saying the daughter and son were taken from a family in one horrific premeditated incident. Nothing can ever make up for the tremendous loss of Shakeema and Levoy, but this verdict holds the person responsible that took them from their family. Shakeema Jackson leaves behind a 17-month-old son.
Isn't that so sad? Like, she's a mom, and he's the one who's out doing wrong. You know, it wasn't her. She's probably hardworking. She works as a sheriff's deputy, and he's out screwing around on her, and he kills her.
And this fucker has the audacity. I mean, it always baffles me. Now, number one, if he has zero involvement with the lives of the children that he fathered outside of his marriage, that's the best possible thing that can ever fucking happen. And he's in jail for the rest of his life, and he's not going to have any money to pay child support. But in all intents and purposes, and you're playing the big picture here, him not existing in these children's lives is the best thing for these people. Because if he was out, if they found something where, well, you know, a couple years for this or that, it was second degree, whatever. If this person is dead or just doesn't exist to these kids have a fighting chance of living a good life and having their shit together and not being pulled back into the cycle of fucking insanity that I'm guessing Shakeema and Jaquavia come from. And they're also, at least one of them had been living out, specifically him. The mother sounds like she had her shit together and was really trying to start a new life. So I'm going to backtrack there. I do not mean to say that she had anything bad going on. She really had her shit together.
No, I think she was a good, sounds like she's a good, upstanding person and then working in law enforcement. And her brother just happened to be at the house. He was collateral damage.
And then tangled up into the world of someone who doesn't have their shit together and wants to keep repeating horrific cycles. It's hard to escape that sometimes because people are out there. And when you first get to know them, you don't always realize those sort of things. And it's like, oh, holy shit. But my God, this justice is served. It's a good thing that they were able to put all of these pieces together. And hopefully these kids get a chance at living a sane life, a good life, maybe a life that is driven towards justice and continuing to want to put away horrible people that unfortunately biologically have the title of father. Spiritually, personally, lovingly, familially, he's a blob of fucking flesh.
You're locked into the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast
with Tony Bruschi.